started the stream. We should be up any second.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the notification. Really?
Apparently.
I'm going to have to turn that notification off.
One thing
And
I
our
don't like
audio's
about
coming through just
streaming on
fine.
Paramount Plus, I can't make the screen smaller and make it stay on the phone. Once I close out the app, it's gone.
On Paramount Plus?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I'm a little miffed by that.
Interesting.
Almost every other thing, any other app will let you close it out and keep it on the screen, but no, not Paramount apparently. So.
Yeah, I last night I was watching.
Bastards.
So I was at local Applebee's after a gym workout, and I was just hanging out because Cindy's away at her folks. Anyway, long story short, I was watching some the Sharks hockey game, which was a disaster, but I was still watching it on YouTube TV. But you could put it on the phone, the flip phone, on the upper half, and then I was able to open up my text messaging with my buddies as we were cracking jokes about how bad the Sharks were playing on the bottom half.
Right.
You can't do that with Paramount Plus?
I can't.
Huh.
Or, yeah, if I
What kind of phone do you have, Kim?
I have the Flip 7.
She has the better version.
Oh, you got
of
a
mine.
flippity flip.
Yep. But for whatever reason, Paramount Plus will not let me do that because that's what I was going to do. I was going to leave
Damn
it
them.
open.
No wonder they're struggling.
Yeah, close it. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I thought about it, I could go over there, turn my TV on, and bring it up on that. But where's the fun in that?
Where is the fun in that? Indeed.
Yeah, the Bucks aren't playing. The Bucks are playing tomorrow.
Yes.
Hopefully they win because the rest of my teams have disappointed me this weekend.
Who are the Bucks playing?
That is a great question.
It's somebody. Good,
I think they're playing the Lions. I think that's the Bucks
right,
and the
yes.
Lions.
The Lions. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right. You guys want to do this podcast thing?
The Metacritic quiz is ready, coming in right under the wire.
In which case, we are ready officially. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Medic.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 858 of the Overseas Connection podcast. Today is October 19th, 2025. It's just a Sunday, folks. It's just another Sunday. I am one of your hosts today, Greg DeLacy, gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Also, Extra Life participant with the VGHub.net team. So check us out there.
VGHub.net.
VG Hub. On the show, you've already heard the dulcet tones of Mr. Christopher Matthew. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing great. Fingers crossed for better luck with the football Buccaneers tomorrow. The rest of the weekend has been football sadness in the Matthew house.
I'm sorry to hear. I've got nothing else on that. It could be worse, Chris. You could be a Raider fan right now.
The Raiders are having a bad day.
Yes.
Yes, they are. And I couldn't be happier. So,
speaking of a happy halfling, Kim Woods on the show. Kim, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here. That's me at GamerGirl27. That's me on Xbox. That's me on Twitter. And also a part of the VG Hub Extra Life team. So if you've got some spare change, I'd appreciate it if you throw it at me. So yeah.
Throw a coin in the fountain, something like that.
There you go.
Toss a penny to your witcher.
Yeah, right. I'm not a witcher, but if you want to toss a coin or two at me, I appreciate it. You know.
That song was stuck in my head for like a year after that joke.
Yeah.
I bet.
Well, hey, if you were just tuning in, like Lord, see him in the chat already. Welcome, Lord. We do this every Sunday. We do this at 12 p.m. on the West Coast. And honestly, that's the only time you really need to think about. However, if you happen to be in a backwater area of the country that we look down upon and unfavorably, unless you live in that area and happen to be a fan of a certain football team, it's 2 o'clock your time. Out on the East Coast, you could be any number of football fans, different varying types, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You could also be, unfortunately, a Miami Dolphins fan, but you'd be on the East Coast. It'd be 3 p.m. your time. And if you happen to be in international waters, living out in the UK, enjoying American football, it's 8 p.m. your time right now. So we do that every Sunday with almost out fail, with the exception of a couple, special holiday time frames, that kind of thing. We do give ourselves a break every now and then. But for the most part, we're here for you every week, talking video games, talking life. We have a fantastic Metacritic quiz planned for you this week that has been thought about literally for minutes on minutes. What else? We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. So come join live. Like I said, Lord in the chat, hanging out, checking us out live. Be part of the chat. Be part of the show. We interact with our audience often. But if you can't, if you are just tied up doing other things, maybe watching the Raiders get their asses kicked in football, then if you're doing that and you'd rather not watch us live, you can always listen to the audio version of the podcast later on. But you will miss out on some of the goodness, like Kim carrying a cat. Just saying. You don't get that in the audio version. You also miss out on all the lovely Star Wars toys behind Mr. Matthews' head, which every time I see it, I just want to go in and just play. I'm like a little kid. All right. I think that's the main stuff. Let's talk some birthdays real fast, though. That is important stuff. So, Tough Woods, October 21st birthday.
That's my brother. Yep.
Okay. All right. Is that really his first name?
No, that's his nickname, but that's
Okay.
pretty much what everybody calls him. His first name is actually Jim or James. So
Okay.
He's named after my dad. Yep.
I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, man, that's a rough first
Right.
name.
I'm just glad you pronounced it tough and not something off the wall, because most people don't get that right off the bat. They want to claim like Toof or something, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
I do actually. Toof was the last thing in my mind. It was tough. It was Tough Woods.
Yep.
But also, I thought, man, that is appropriate for whereabouts you live. That would be an actual first name. I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, he got the nickname because when he was little, he shut his hand. Somebody had shut his hand in the door, and he never cried. So my aunt looked at him and said, "That's a tough little man." And it
Okay.
stuck.
Tough Woods.
Yep.
Tough Woods it is. Happy birthday in 2 days. Ray Lewis. I am assuming this is the infamous Baltimore Ravens Ray Lewis. If it's not.
No, Roy Lewis. No,
That says Roy.
Lewis.
That it does. It does say Roy
Okay.
Lewis. So Roy, apologies. I was associating you with a football player from the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, that could be a compliment. I don't know. But
Could be,
Roy
yeah.
Lewis, happy birthday, October 23rd. Oops. And the NES, October 18th. I'm assuming that is, or is it Ness for like the Loch Ness Monster? This could be. going
No,
either way.
that is in fact the Nintendo Entertainment System.
See, Mr. Matthew, by the way,
yeah.
I appreciate you doing these little birthday add-ins, but sometimes I am not clever enough to figure what they actually are out. And so here I was like, man, could it be Ness? Like Nessie? No, I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows Nessie's actual birthday. I think that's part of the mystery.
Fair, because we've never
I-
confirmed her actual existence.
Exactly. I had assumed that on a gaming podcast, NES would be enough.
Well, Mr. Matthew, that is what you get for assuming. Okay, I'm just
That's
saying.
fair. That's fair.
All right. Let's do some story time.
Okay.
If I can find the button, we'll do some story time, I swear.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
and appreciate you now spelling it out entirely after the fact. That's really, yes.
You're welcome.
Bravo.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and by the way, we cannot do segments without the intro audio because heaven forbid we just dive into something. Nope. Need the intro audio before we can absolutely proceed. I have a feeling this show is going to go off the rails. I don't know why. I'm getting a sense. All right. What has everybody been doing? I'm gonna start with Kim.
Oh, all right. Well, Friday we took my nephews over to Kansas City to be picked up by their father for the weekend. So as you can imagine, that was a long trip, and I don't know what it is. Even though I was just the ride along at the time, I'm just the passenger most of the time. I'm the comedy relief. Then 4 hours there and 4 hours back, it makes for a long day. And unfortunately, tomorrow we have to do the same thing because, of course, we have to go back and pick them up. So there's that.
Okay, I gotta ask a question. So you're the comedy relief.
Okay.
Do you actually like prepare like a full set to
Sure. Yeah. Right. That's my job to, kind of, keep everybody going. Although sometimes I fail miserably at it like this last time, I had to be up at 5 in the morning. Now, mind you, my ass does not get out of bed till like 6:30 most days. So 5 o'clock in the morning is kind of rough for me. So for like the first couple hours, I had to catch myself nodding off. Because I'm like, I'm not doing my job here if I'm sitting here falling asleep while she's trying, driving and trying to, do that sort of thing. So
That's fair. Okay,
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna side rail the conversation real fast, Kim. This is the power of the host. So Lord in the chat has said that they've been showing the Chiefs game here in the UK. So I have twofold question. Hopefully Lord is still listening to. Part of this is directed at him. Part of this is directed at you, Kim, because here's the deal. When I turned on the Chiefs game today, it was in Spanish. I had to go to the secondary audio to get it to English. I assumed this was done out of Spanish Heritage or Spanish Heritage Month. That's not a thing. Hispanic Heritage Month. But then the second half kicked off and it reverted. So I'm thinking maybe YouTube somehow screwed it up. Was the game in Spanish on your end? And also for my UK friend, was the game in Spanish for you guys as well?
it wasn't for me. So that's why I was curious.
This had to have been a YouTube TV FUBAR. That's all I can think of.
Could have been. Oh, yeah. I would imagine.
It threw me for a loop because I'm like listening to the game kicking off and I'm like, that is not English. I know enough to know. And I've not been drinking. Not English.
Nope.
Okay.
No, mine was fine. But then like I said, I'm watching it on Paramount Plus. So maybe that's the difference.
Well, I mean, that's still CBS. I mean, that's...
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Mystery solved, I believe, unless of course Lord comes through and says that they were in fact, broadcasting in Spanish to the UK audience, which would be pretty hilarious.
It would be.
Okay. What else, Kim?
It was in French.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's in French. Yeah. I may have gained another nephew. My sister's boyfriend has a little boy. His name is Paxton, and he's had some things happen over the last couple of weeks, and he's gotten custody of him now, him and my sister both. So this may end up being a long-term thing. So I've gained another nephew. He's 2. He's a good little boy. We took him up yesterday. We had to get our haircut, and we took him up yesterday, and he sat on the floor and played with these toys. Didn't get into anything, and it was weird because when you take my nephews, Anthony and Owen, and the way they were at 2 years old, I mean, they were into everything. So it's a little strange. But
I would like to point out to the audience, by the way, she is not stealing children. So she said, I gained another nephew. No, she's just merely watching them as a job, if you will, for family members.
But that's the thing. That was my first and this is going to make me terrible. When my sister called to tell me what was going on, that was the first thought that went through my head was, oh, dear God, am I going to have to babysit this one? Thankfully, no. She's got it. There's a daycare at the hospital she works at, and they've got him signed up for that. So there might be like an emergency where maybe I might have to watch him, in case daycare is closed or whatever. But I am not going back full time. So, thank God for that. And I kind of chuckled about that when I was telling her about it the other day. I'm like, that was my first thought was, well, I'm
Now-
gonna have to start babysitting again.
What is the
I'm
name
not-
of this newest one to the litter?
Paxton.
Paxton. Okay.
Yep, Paxton. So
Nephews and
so
cats. That's what you collect.
apparently this is what I bring into the family. Apparently, cats and nephews. I don't. But like I said, he seems
You
like
could
a
have
good
quite a
kid.
collection of raccoons, but you've
I
dispatched
could.
them with
Yeah.
authority.
Right, and bring them in, and do the whole taxidermy thing and have them stuffed. I could have like a shelf.
Do you
full of
guys
stuffed
have
raccoons.
it? There's a real question, and this is like
Okay.
straight up like, yeah, it's gonna reflect on you,
Right.
Kim. Do you have any heads hanging in your house?
No, I do not.
All right, Chris, anything in the refrigerator, basement?
In the refrigerator? No, those go in the freezer, Greg.
Sorry. It might have been newly,
No. I've never been an avid hunter. I've had plenty of friends who are, and I appreciate them when they have some trophies displayed. Yeah, if that's what makes you happy.
Yeah,
Right.
fair enough. We do not have any heads in our house. The closest thing would be the helmets on my wall. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Uh,
but no,
okay.
I do not have anything taxidermied or whatnot.
yeah, like
So,
taxiderming squirrels, by the way, oddly creepy.
I don't know. I think anything taxidermied is a little creepy, to be fair. But
I mean, I
Yeah,
get the
more hard to
lion
get.
head or something that, that you really could like hang a little pride around. And I know, PETA people are up in arms right now for me saying that. But I mean, if I was out and I went lion hunting and I bagged a lion, I might be inclined to throw a lion head up on the wall. If I was that kind of person,
Right.
I'm not. I'm with Chris. I'm not really
Right.
a hunter. I prefer my animals to be killed in a slaughterhouse, and I never have to see it.
Well, it
I
makes
thought
me
you were
feel good.
making
I'm
a
not
pun
much of a
there
hunter.
No.
because you said hang a little pride around the lion. Get it?
I thought about
Right.
it. Yes, I thought about it. I couldn't go there. Anyway, Kim, the cursing, is this with the nephew or is this with something else?
No, well, I had poison ivy here for a couple of weeks, right? And before that, there was that monster migraine that I couldn't get rid of. Well, now, apparently, I've pissed somebody off because now I have hives.
Are you stressed out?
I didn't think I was, but yeah, I
Okay.
woke up the other morning and I've got hives all the way up and down my legs, and of course they itch like nobody's fucking
Yeah,
business. And yeah, so I'm still taking. So if I pass out during the show, it's because I'm taking Benadryl, but I'm trying very hard not to, get sleepy and like pass
Man.
out because
Benadryl
Yeah.
kicks my ass. And
I
the worst
know.
part is it's like one of the only things that works for my allergies. So
Mm-hmm.
if I take it during the day with work, I'm just like a zombie. So
exactly, it
Yeah.
makes you not want to do anything, even though you're like, I can't go to sleep. So you have. So like I said,
Yeah.
if I face plant in my on the show, don't worry about it. It's just the Benadryl has finally kicked my
Just
ass, and here
just
we are.
call the authorities, right?
Yeah, right.
Kim
right.
goes face down into her computer. We understand.
All right.
When I was
yeah,
in-
so I don't know.
When I was in high school, talking about Benadryl, took a trip to one of those intertubing trips down a river, right, where you just sit in a tube
Right.
and float
Yeah.
down the river. But this was like in the 90s in this small town in Georgia, so it was like literally an old tire inner tube. It wasn't like the purpose,
Right.
built whatever. And so one of the members of our group just had a reaction to this rubber, just started immediately breaking out in hives. But there was no like transportation. They like dropped you off where they were going to put you in the river, and then you would float down the river and meet the bus. So it's like, well, you can do the inner tube ride, or you can walk. And so ended up giving her Benadryl, and so she just slept the whole time, just in the inner tube,
how
floating down the
funny.
river, just knocked out. Luckily that took care of the reaction there. But it was like, you can swim, you can walk, or you can float on this inner tube. Those are the options we have.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the Benadryl was a good option. So as long as that was there. If the Benadryl wasn't there, I'm not opting for walking. I think I would try to do like the Titanic, hang on to the side of the raft.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah,
be in the water.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kim. Aside from being cursed and adding to the litter, anything else?
No, other than the pissing off a god or being cursed by a voodoo witch, whatever's happened to me lately. That's pretty much it. It's been fairly quiet. My horses have not escaped. Matter of fact, it's almost become an exercise routine now. I go out, I do chores of an evening, and I walk around my pasture to go find my horses. And usually they're not very far. And usually while I'm out there, there is I usually kick up a few deer while I'm out there because they'll be out there eating. And apparently they're used to me now because they used to run away. They don't run away now. So I'm not sure if I should be happy about that or worried, because now I'm kind of worried that maybe one of these days they might come get me. So who knows?
Fair enough.
Massacred by deer. That'll be my next big achievement, apparlook.
A deer can get aggressive. They can.
I know. Yeah.
It doesn't happen often, but I look, and also apologies because clearly my Chiefs voodoo doll is not working as intended. It might just be working against you, not the actual team.
That's what's going on.
It's
it's
a Chiefs fan voodoo doll instead of a Chiefs voodoo doll.
And apparently I'm it today. So yeah. So, anyway, that's it for me.
All right,
So.
Mr. Matthew, what's going on with you?
So it's a slow week, but this week we had our first. So my oldest plays football for his high school. It's kind of a combined team with the middle school JV team. Their first game,
American or soccer? When we say football,
American football.
Okay,
American football.
Clarifying
American
for
football.
Our international friends that
Not
are going to assume
not association rules soccer or association rules football, which is abbreviated.
Not
soccer.
playing sissy football. That's what I like to call.
I mean,
soccer.
It's cardio.
It is cardio. Okay, look, let's just have the conversation real fast. It drives me crazy. They get a little kick and they're writhing in pain like their leg is about to fall off, and then some little dude comes off the sideline with this can of spray, sprays their leg a little bit, and suddenly they magically can walk. Nothing drives me more crazy than watching those little interactions happen. It's just like, really? You weren't hurt at all. Come on. Okay. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, you do see some teams that dive for penalties, and that is a little bit annoying. Yeah, but let's not pretend like the NFL isn't guilty of the same, right? Like how often do you see a wide receiver way over exaggerate to try to draw a pass interference penalty, or the punter take a dive to try to draw a roughing the kicker penalty, right? So
that definitely happens. But also, I've seen Joe Theismann's leg.
There are some pretty severe injuries in American football. That's to be certain.
Yeah.
But yes, the oldest plays American football.
Okay.
The first game they lost pretty bad. The second game ended in a 0-0 tie, which is very dissatisfying unless you really like defense, I guess. And then this last game they went and played. They won. I can't remember if it was a shutout. No, it was like 20-6 was the final score or something. But it was nice to see him get a win.
Nice, and a convincing win.
And a convincing win. And the man cub had a sack and a fumble recovery. So
nice.
So he was happy about that. So
right on.
Yeah.
By the way,
times.
Ties. I feel like ties. There's two perspectives to the tie. If you are a good team and you get a tie, you feel like you lost. It absolutely feels horrible. If you are a bad team and you don't think you're going to win a game and you get a tie, it is just as good as a win.
Yeah.
So,
and in the NHL, you get a point for a tie. So there you go. In the standings. But yeah, his league just doesn't have any overtime rules. So they just if the game is over and it's tied, then it's a tie. So there you have it. But it was fun. As I logged in to do the podcast today, I got a pop-up from my computer that says I am something like 1,300% over my allotted OneDrive, my free OneDrive storage, like 1,000% over on it. So
1,000%.
I'm trying now. Yeah. which means I have like 50. It's trying to back up like 50 gigabytes worth of stuff when you only get your 5 gigabytes if you have the free OneDrive.
Right.
And I don't want the OneDrive to be turned on at all. So now I got to go figure out how to turn it off because I have Google for that, right? All my pictures and stuff that I actually want to be backed up, it's all backed up to Google. Microsoft is not to be trusted. Of course, perhaps maybe Google isn't either. Who knows? Let's see. College football blues. So my primary team is of course Army. They've been struggling this year. Growing up in Florida, my second team, the team that I've been rooting for the longest, is the Miami Hurricanes, and they absolutely choked on Friday night at home against an unranked opponent. They got their butts kicked. So the final score was closer than the game was. They had a turnover for a touchdown late in the game that made the score a lot closer than the game actually was. But there you go. College football blues.
Do you take any solace by the fact that Florida State lost to Stanford last night?
So I did. So there was a slew of upsets this weekend. LSU losing to Vanderbilt is a sentence we never thought we would hear in college football. Let's see who else lost. Florida State losing to Stanford. Probably never thought we'd hear that in.
I didn't see the final score of Penn State. It was not Penn State. Notre Dame USC, but that was a good game. It was like going back
Notre
and forth,
Dame.
back and forth.
Notre Dame won that game. They played a pretty physical game. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but there were something like 7 top 25 teams lost to underdogs this weekend. So it was quite a weekend. So there. Let's see. Did I find it? No, I didn't find it. Oh well, that's the college football blues. That's the life of college football. You just never know. Especially in the NIL era, like the talent is a lot more equal than it used to be because you can just pay somebody to come play for your school. You don't have to necessarily do the whole recruiting thing anymore.
It is an odd time in college football, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, and you got players playing for 9 years and playing for 7 different teams. It is a strange time in college football. Yeah.
Okay.
And then have either of you watched this show on HBO called White Lotus? Have either of you watched this show?
I have not.
I've heard of
it. It is a strange show. So the setting is the White Lotus is this fictional luxury resort in Hawaii somewhere. And so far, I'm only 3 episodes in. So far, it kind of centers around 3 kind of main guests. There's a family. So it's the dad who's just had a big health scare, mom who's like ultra successful business person, and then their 2 kids and one of the kids' friends. There's a newlywed couple, and then there's a single lady who's there to scatter her mother's ashes, played by Jennifer Coolidge. Whether you think you know who Jennifer Coolidge is or not, you know who Jennifer Coolidge is. Stifler's mom. Anyway, it's just a really bizarre show. Although it does hit on a lot of real issues with family dynamics, which makes it kind of interesting. I'm only 3 episodes in. It's pretty interesting. I'd recommend checking it out if you have access to HBO Max,
So
which I do through
on,
Amazon.
On screen real quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. And of course I'm ripping this off from Los Chulos channel.
So it's
So it's got
Spanish subtitles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird, funny show, but it does kind of hit on some real topics of family dynamics and things. So worth checking out.
Probably even more interesting in Spanish. I don't know why. Everything apparently wants to be in Spanish for me today. So maybe there's something to this.
It's because you're in California.
It could be.
Which used to be part of Mexico.
True.
Of course, Florida also used to belong to Spain. So there we go.
Yeah. But who's counting, right?
Right.
Halloween prep
What
is
about
finally.
you, Greg?
Well, Halloween's done. Not that Halloween has come and gone, but Halloween prep is done. We finished up. I shared a couple photos over to the group. We were having fun with this year's theme. If I had been thinking, I would have actually put my photos up onto my OneDrive, actually my Google Drive, and then I could have shared on screen right now, but I didn't, so they're not on my PC. So oh well. But we had fun.
Well.
We had fun. I'll try and share them out, maybe to the Discord channel, and if you're not part of the Discord channel, you're not part of the future. I'm just saying.
You're missing out. If you're not on Discord, you're missing out.
You are. I did have a moment on Friday when I realized I have not really been doing jack squat for Extra Life. So I went out and did another push. I'm now over halfway to my goal. I want to say I'm actually like 3/4 of the way to my goal now. So that's good. I think we'll get there easily enough. But it is coming up. It's around the corner. It's 2 weeks away. No, 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's going to be coming fast.
Yeah. What is it? The 8th?
Yeah. I'm not prepared for 24 hours. I'm just not.
I'm not either. I'm right there with you.
Swear to God. Of late, I have been struggling to stay up till like 10 o'clock at night. So how I'm going to get through 24 hours, I have no idea.
Monster.
I'll help you.
A lot of caffeine probably. And a lot of group gaming. Dang it.
Yep.
So was it Friday night? Friday night, I'm just sitting back at the house and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch, was it the Terminal List had a season 2 that came out. And I was like, let me go watch that. Throw up Netflix. I'm like, where the hell did it go? I'm like scrolling. Well, newsflash, that's on Amazon Prime. However, but this is one of the things I hate right now is all these different apps trying to find which app has which show on it, going back and forth. But in the process of doing this, I have seen Den of Thieves numerous times on my watch, suggestions, and I'm like, I don't know. Finally sat down to watch it. I really liked Den of Thieves. I was shocked at how much I liked it. It was quite good. It has the guy, and I cannot remember his name, Pablo something or other, that plays Master Chief in the television series. He is in this show. And then Gladiator guy, and his name is escaping me. I'm looking.
So Russell Crowe.
Yes, Russell Crowe. Anyway, it's good. It's really good. Den of Thieves, highly recommend. They have a sequel, Den of Thieves Pantera. I am maybe halfway through that. Not as good. The first Den of Thieves so far really it hit home. Anyway, so okay, last little thing. Good God, my phone is blowing up. Everybody's talking football.
Well, at least it's not Spanish.
Now that it is not in Spanish, but they're all complaining about the Chiefs, I think. Last but not least, Kim, did you notice anything?
What? You're not flaccid?
No flop. There's no flop. Damn it, the flop is fixed.
All right.
I finally got around to putting my $5 part on my microphone boom on, and so that was the highlight.
What, all of 5 minutes?
Ish. It took me actually like 7 minutes because I had to do a little monkeying around with the different screws, trying to figure out which screw type to use for the arm. And once I figured that out, then I had to actually go grab a couple washers because surprisingly, it didn't quite fit perfectly. So I needed to fatten up. Oh, this is going to sound bad. The part that inserted into the other part. So yeah, there you go. It's all fixed.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on. All right, we don't have any questions from the Discord because our shouters are too busy being in the chat and not thinking about good questions. Although I see here, Boomer saying second time cooking rice, not the instant kind either, and I managed to make it twice without burning it. Well done, son. Well done.
Victory.
Victory. By the way, there's a very easy trick to cooking rice. So and I learned this, and I don't know if maybe it's a universal thing, but so you get your pot, right? You add your rice in, level it out. You start to add your water in. You take your finger, you put it into the water, and when it comes up to your first knuckle, so your finger has to touch the top of the rice, and the water comes up to your first knuckle. That's all the water you need. You let it boil. As it's boiling, it'll start to cook down. And once you see the bubbles start disappearing into the rice, you turn the burner off, you cover it with the lid. Let that go for at least 15 minutes, and you've got your rice cooked. Works every time.
I have a foolproof way to cook rice. I put it in the Instant Pot, and I push the rice button.
That probably is a more
every
foolproof
time.
way, yes. For those of us that don't have a rice Instapot,
that's the other hack is, and I didn't learn that one until I was in my 40s. Is if you need a bunch of rice, just order it from your local Chinese takeout place. And just
it
go
legitimately
pick up
is the best hack. Yeah. Because it's going to be probably, I don't know, a couple of dollars more expensive than what you would have paid for trying to do it yourself. So, and it's cooked properly. Okay.
Unless you're where I live in BFE and we don't have a Chinese joint, so yeah.
Do you have any like well, I was gonna say maybe you could get like a Mexican cantina, have them cook you some rice without any of the seasoning?
We do have a Mexican joint, so they might do it, yeah. But
then again, I think I prefer
besides
Mexican
them, we
rice
still have a Mexican
over. I don't like plain white rice. Not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
The only way it works for me is like if it's in sushi, but then it's not really rice at that point. It's sushi, so.
Right.
Okay. Well, this has been entertaining. Hopefully the chat is loving this conversation about rice. More information about rice than you ever thought you would know. All right. What are we doing? We're talking video games.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
By the way, Mark Wright, not dead. Just for everybody to know, he had a bit of a migraine. Didn't make the show. But I figured, we'd owed the explanation since we have him just missing on the main screen. Hopefully he'll be back next week.
Kidnapped or anything. So
no.
Yeah.
Kidnapped would be a good story, but
right?
Yeah. I mean, as long as he gets returned unharmed.
Right.
Or a couple bruises, I'm willing to sacrifice that.
Just a couple.
All right. We're mid-month, so I think we don't need to worry about updating games that we get to play because we pay for them. But we certainly should talk about the games we are playing. Mr. Matthew, I'm going to turn to you first because yours is, on a scale of newest to oldest. Although, that still falls into newest to oldest. This would be oldest first type thing.
What are you insinuating here, Greg?
Decidedly old.
Yeah, I have been playing I have spent most of my gaming time this week on a 9-year-old game called No Man's Sky. So the recent expedition just wrapped up. For those of you unfamiliar with No Man's Sky, that's their version of a season or a battle pass, except it's free. And so I've just been doing some housekeeping, getting my settlement fixed up, my new settlement fixed up, and earning back some money that I spent on some things. And it's just kind of a chill game, kind of just hang out, do do a little bit. I've decided what I'm doing now is working my way towards the center of the galaxy. So if you've played No Man's Sky, there's 255 galaxies. Everybody starts in the Euclid galaxy. There's a couple of ways to go from one galaxy to the other. The easiest is if you find a portal. It's like a Stargate. You get like 16 glyphs, and you enter those in, and it'll take you to another galaxy. But the way that you originally did it was you just have to keep jumping system to system to system until you got to the center of the galaxy, and then you would fly through the center of the galaxy, and it spits you out into the next galaxy. So while I wait for the next expedition to launch, that's what I'm doing, is just jumping system to system to system until I get to the next galaxy.
Okay, real quickly. I swear to God, on one of the YouTube channels, a rice commercial came up. They 1000% are listening. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Your phone heard everything you just said, and it's like, hey, you might want a rice cooker.
Yeah.
So you can keep your grubby mitts out of the rice.
I wash my finger before I stick it in. Come on. Oh God! I just said
what
that
she
out loud.
proclaimeth.
Phrasing. Oh boy.
Yeah. So that's No Man's Sky. Been enjoying that. Been playing some Modern Warfare Zombies. Corzan and I tried to go into the boss area and fight the big final boss, and we held our own for a little bit, but then we died, sadly. And the way that Modern Warfare Zombies works, you unlock crafting recipes, so you can craft a bunch of things, but it kind of knocks you down in terms of your equipment level. So, for instance, how much you can carry. There's 3 different sizes of backpacks. You start with a small backpack, and you can work your way up. If you die, you go back to a small backpack.
Okay.
If you start with your armor, you can carry. Everybody starts with a 1-plate vest, if you will, and you can eventually unlock a 3-plate vest. If you die, you get knocked back down to a 1-plate vest, and you got to go find all your kit again. So I found everything except for the large backpack. Rekitted my dude up. So I gotta get back in and find a large backpack.
Okay.
But yeah, enjoying Modern Warfare Zombies. I'm hoping that that Modern Warfare 4, if we ever get a Modern Warfare 4, has a similar open world zombies kind of setup. And then something new. I'm sorry, Greg. You look like you had a question.
No. I was just going to transition, but you said something new, which this.
Well, a relatively new game. So oldest game, old game, newest game. I have been continuing to slowly work my way through Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I think the problem with this game for me is I want to get all of the collectibles in an area before I go to the next area. So I've been stuck in that Giza area forever trying to find all the things.
Yeah.
And I just found out there's new things because I found all the little ancient relics. I found all of the steelies, and now I just found out there's like 5 treasures of Africa that I've got to find. So I think after that I'll be able to go to the next area. We'll see.
I'm trying to remember the order of the areas. I don't want to spoil anything. Have you been in a jungle setting yet? I'm trying to remember. The jungle setting comes before or after Giza?
No. So actually, now that you mentioned that, I decided I'll go back later for the relics of Africa. I did just transition to the Himalayas. Okay. So you go from Rome to Giza to the Himalayas. So that's where I am now.
Okay.
But I've not really gotten far in that area.
Okay. You still have a little ways to go. I mean, that's a good thing.
It's a fun game. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Some of the boxing is a little frustrating. I haven't quite figured out. I don't agree with the way they laid the buttons out. I guess I could try to switch them around, but they put the block button on the left bumper. And every other game you play where there's boxing or hand-to-hand fighting, the block button is on the left trigger, right? So it just doesn't feel natural. Anyway, yeah, fun game.
Okay. And you're playing that on a gamepad, I assume, not mouse and keyboard.
I tried it on the mouse and keyboard. It seems to work better on the gamepad. So I switched it to playing it on a gamepad.
Okay. I will say one thing I really loved about that game too was they did a good job of transitioning because you're in first person view for the majority of the game, but they do take you into third person on a number of different, things, whether it be scaling up a side of a ledge or some of the different just kind of sneak attempt stuff that you do. And so I liked the way they handled that. It felt very natural. So, yeah, I need to do the DLC for that. It deserves my patronage. I very much like that game.
That's what I'll spend my since I can no longer use my Xbox and Microsoft reward points to buy Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. I guess I'll use it to buy the Indiana Jones DLC. Inspiration, Greg. Inspiration.
I am feeling inspired. And apparently I was disconnected from the chat, and now I'm reconnected to the chat. So
welcome back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, that's it. All right. Kim.
Yes.
I think our conversation is going to pretty much focus around Battlefield 6. Is that fair to say?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I mean, because I haven't got a whole lot to talk about on any one thing exactly. Because, like I said, I haven't had a lot of time to play much of anything this week. But I have played a few things. So.
Okay.
I'll get the others out of the way, and then we can talk about Battlefield if you want. Because I'm still playing Baldur's Gate. We know I'm addicted to it. Deal with it. I've got one character in Act 2, almost the end of Act 2, and we just went through Char's Gauntlet, which I've already been through once, and that was a total pain in the ass. But thanks to the internet, I have found ways to cheat and get around it, even though it hurts Shadowheart, and well, I don't care. So
you don't have any affinity for Shadowheart, do you?
So mean.
I know.
No, she's fine.
I mean, she is fine, but
Well, all right. I don't have any ill will towards her, but at times she can be a bit bitchy, and she's already got that thing in her hand that hurts every once in a while when she, a nice thought. So I figure a little bit more pain's not really going to bother her any, because I found out that if you cheat going through Shard's Gauntlet, she gets a debuff that makes it painful, and she's like bent over like, she's been, stabbed in the gut or something, and you can tell obviously it's, bothering her. So, but I thought, you know what? For the pain in the ass it is to go through Shard's Gauntlet for some of that stuff, especially like I said, the room with that's got no floor in it. And you're supposed to follow the hidden path, but you can't obviously see the hidden path. You have to follow a map of the floor. Well, I'm terrible at that shit. So I cast Fly on her. We jump from platform to platform until we get to the last one and pick up the rock, because there's these globes or rocks or gems or something you have to pick up to use for a way to get to the next area. So anyway, we've been doing that. I got through it, like I said, because I cheated. So next we will go and free the Night Song and finish Act 2, and then we'll be on to Act 3. So, and this is a character, the one I'm using, this is a character that doesn't have any mods, so she's specifically my Chivo character. So hopefully I can unlock some more achievements. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that one.
Shadowheart was my first choice for a romantic relationship up until I realized I figured she was going to be a pain in the ass to try and get a relationship with. She just didn't seem very open.
Night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
I don't know.
You just have to talk to them. I mean, it's a video game. Like say nice things.
Right.
Like actual relationships.
like real life, just talk to them and say nice things.
Right.
Couldn't be bothered. Sorry.
Apparently. And then I played some Helldivers yesterday, and I played some this afternoon. Me and Boomer got on, and I can't remember now what the main order is now, but there's it's automatons, it's bots this weekend, so we went and played.
Automatons. Do.
Yeah, we went and played with some bots this afternoon, and we actually bumped it up to like a level 2, because we usually just play on Trivial if it's just the two of us, because we're farming for.
I feel like the two of you can push your limits here. You guys are good enough.
we did bump it. Like I said, we bumped it up to 2, and that obviously gave us bigger maps and more stuff to find. So I mean, it works, and we still pretty much held our own, decently, even on a level 2. So, and I got my laser guided rockets now, or missiles. So that takes the drop ships out, which is hilarious. Except when I take it out, it falls on Boomer or me, because I don't know how many times I've taken them damn drop ships out, and they've either almost fallen on one of us. So, yeah. So yeah, the Helldivers 2. It's still going strong. I'm sure I'll play a bunch of it for Extra Life. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah,
so,
it's been calling me. The icon is sitting on my dashboard, and every time I start, I'm like, oh, I should play some Helldivers 2. I really should.
Yeah, we should. I mean, there's enough of us now that we can split up into a few groups now. So yeah, Helldivers. I still thoroughly enjoy it. I know Battlefield is out, but there's just something about jumping in there and you got 40 minutes to go and wipe up some bots or some bugs. Or I'm still not a fan of the Illuminate. I'm not. But if it's the major order, then I'll do it. But I'm not a big fan. I'd rather go kill something else.
Fair.
So yeah, other than that, we played some Battlefield 6 during the week. So yeah, and that was fun. You want to talk about that?
We did, yeah. We can talk about it.
All right.
So I'm not going to talk about the campaign. It is what it is. I'm going to be nice and just not talk about the campaign.
Have you finished the campaign?
I have not finished the campaign yet. I am currently in Brooklyn. Not to give you spoilers, but the campaign took me to Brooklyn. Again, visually, this game is gorgeous. And they've done very well with the visuals, and they missed the mark on some other things, but we won't talk about that. We will talk about multiplayer. Yes. So there's been an interesting discourse happening on Battlefield 6 around Bloom. And so Bloom basically being, as you are aiming down on scope or on sight with your gun and you're shooting, that the bullet patterns are blooming outward more than they should. Right. And so players are very angry about this because, they're posting videos of like they're sniping and they're firing off multiple shots and nobody's getting hit. Or like one hit out of every 6 or 7 shots. And
skill issue.
So here was my thing. I watched somebody with their video, and they had an LMG, and they were a good distance away. They had put on a scope onto it that was like a 2-time scope, and they are full auto firing on a guy that was in and around cover. But, as you're looking on screen, think of it as, I don't know, the distance would be from there to the far building. And 3 shots hit out of probably 25, 30. And the rest are all pinging in and around the guy. And he's complaining about the bloom effect. My take on this, and Chris, I think you can speak to this with some authority. If you go full auto on an LMG gun, the likelihood of your shots having a zeroed in pattern is pretty small, unless you are very skilled with that weapon and know how to precisely control all the recoil happening.
Yeah. Unless it's so I don't know, I didn't see it in the beta. The LMGs don't have like a bipod you can flip out, right?
Some do.
Because yes, if you're trying to hold an LMG in your hands, it's going to be all over the place.
Right.
But if you flip out the bipod or mount it on a tripod, you can get a pretty tight shot circle. But you don't go full auto either. You fire it in bursts, right? Depending upon the range, yeah, you're definitely going to sacrifice some accuracy. But it's also video games. LMGs are mostly meant to just kind of keep everybody's head down, right?
Right.
That's kind of the purpose of it. It's not necessarily for pinpoint accuracy.
Which plays perfectly into my play style. I more or less shoot, and it makes people aware that I'm there. I don't really hit many people, and sometimes I make them keep their head down. Sometimes they just return fire and kill me.
That's right.
And much like the much like the Call of Duty, I'm sure that with the right attachments, you can bring that recoil down pretty low. Like the Black Ops 6 with the right attachments, you just turn that thing into a laser, right? It's
well, and
anyway.
that's been the big knock is people are saying it doesn't matter. The bloom effect is pretty severe on multiple weapons. Now, one thing Battlefield they've done is if you're using a weapon outside of your class, I think this is where the issue comes in. The bloom effect is actually much worse than if you are using a weapon proper to your class. So snipers using a sniper rifle, the support class using an LMG, not an assault gun, because they're kind of the designated weapon. Anyway, that all aside, I've been having fun with the multiplayer. It is still a bit frustrating at times. Kim, I mean, we had some sessions where it was more or less run, kill, die, run,
die, repeat. Yep.
Run, fix somebody, bring somebody back to help, die. And tanks and vehicles on this game, they really do change the whole dynamic of the game, and that happens in real life. I mean, if you're, I would assume an infantry platoon coming across, say a Bradley fighting vehicle, they're going to be in a world of hurt unless they get the drop on the Bradley vehicle before they're noticed.
Right.
I don't know if Chris is frozen or if he's just musing.
No. No. I'm watching the video. Yeah. So what my biggest frustration with the beta, and I haven't played the full release yet, so maybe I'm sure it's different. But when I think about Battlefield games, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company, I was never very good at getting kills, just never very good at it. But I could always find a way around the map to get to the objective and capture objectives, right? And I had a hard time doing that with the beta. And the vehicles should be if someone knows how to use it, that should be force you to change up your play style, right? You shouldn't be able to just hose down a lightly armored vehicle with a light machine gun and think that it's going to explode, right? It should kind of force you to change up your play style. That's why there's only one on the map, right? I think.
Well, no, and so most of these the vehicle maps, there definitely are many spawns of vehicles.
Okay.
So, unlike in Bad Company, I want to say that they did have a limit of like 2 or 3 tanks to a map. You never had more than
usually like each side had a tank or 2, each side had a helicopter or 2, and each side, depending upon the map, might have a jet fighter, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think they're a little more plentiful in Battlefield 6, but not by much. But you'll see them like in the starting area, they appear as these like icons, and like I think back to the match we were in, Kim. I'm pretty sure there were about 8 vehicles available. Now there were also some lesser vehicles, like they had the ATVs, where you could jump on an ATV, and that was basically a death sentence, especially if I was driving.
Especially,
uncalled for, Kim. Uncalled for.
Well, remember when we were in the buggy and it drove over the damn landmine and killed us both? Although to be fair, that was a landmine, and I'm not so sure I could have seen it either. But
yeah, I had no clue there were landmines on the battlefield. I think it was actually an improvised device that you can unlock. So I did see this later on. I think it's the support class or the engineer class, but they'll get access to these mines that they can stick on the side of buildings or telephone poles, and you pass by it, and it's basically an IED. So
all I knew is I spawned on it. I was on the big gun. I was ready to go, and about that time, boom! And I'm like, well, we're dead.
Yeah.
Boom.
Kaboom.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's good times. I am enjoying so far. I still think I like playing close quarters more, where it's just infantry. I find that to be just a little bit more fun, but I do also love, and you'll see it on screen here in a second, this whole notion of being able to drag a person and then revive them. So you pull them back into some cover. It's a good, just it's a nice touch to the game. More times than not, it doesn't matter. You still both get killed as you're trying to revive the person. But yeah, it's good. One of these days, by the way, I will pay for YouTube Premium. I promise.
One of these days.
Yeah, I know. Well, couch commercial.
The only thing I
Yay.
wish on the revive thing was I wish they would speed it up a little, because while you're sitting there pulling somebody back and waiting for the little thing to pop up on screen to tell you it's time to stab them, it seems like it takes for freaking ever for that little icon to pop up.
Kim,
That's why you got to play the support class.
Yeah, this is a
Instant revive.
Yeah, a battlefield simulator. So, Kim, come on. You can't drag and heal somebody at the same time. You need the paddles to magically heal them at the same
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, because
And
there was enough of those people that were running along as I'm sitting there trying to stab somebody to revive him. Some jackass comes along with the paddles and just does it, and they're gone. I'm like, well, there went that. All right, well, you're
I
up.
like that you called him a jackass for doing his job. That's what's
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for being a team player, jackass.
Right.
But yeah, Battlefield 6 most certainly will be part of Extra Life. For sure.
Oh, sure.
I'm kind of seeing,
maybe.
by the way, my vision for Extra Life right now.
Uh-oh.
Helldivers 2, Battlefield 6, Zombies. Some kind of mix. I think those are going to be like the 3 core staple games. I'm trying to think, is Call of Duty 6 going to be out? Black Ops 6? Or is that the next week?
Black
I think
Ops
it's the
7?
next week. Yeah, Black Ops 7. I think it's the next week. I think it's the 14th. Which would be a shame, but
Black Ops 7. Well, you would think that information. It is November the 14th.
okay. All right. So it will just be good old fashioned Black Ops Zombies or some other iteration of Zombies, I suppose. But I feel like that's going to be like the core 3 games, especially in the late hours.
Oh, God, yeah, right?
Anything else, Kim?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. I played something new.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think about this.
Yeah, so I, sitting on the couch, doing as I do, looking around, thinking about games, being like, maybe I'll play some Battlefield. And I'm like, you know what? Keeper just came out. This is the newest game from Double Fine. So I thought, let's take a look, see what this is all about. I didn't know what to expect from Keeper. Still not quite sure what to expect from Keeper. So you play a lighthouse that has magically come to life. It has legs, kind of moves like a crab, but an awkward crab. So it is top heavy, and the light from the lighthouse, as you would think, is, I won't say it's necessarily a weapon, but it can be used as a bit of a weapon, but also as a way of opening certain passageways, getting things to kind of open up for you. There's also a bird that has taken refuge on top of your lighthouse. I have yet to truly understand what the bird is there for, other than to be a bird on top of the lighthouse. I did find this idol that I had to make the bird do kind of like a bird-like movement. And I'm saying this almost verbatim to what the game says. And then it kind of revealed the idol's origins to me. And that's the only thing the bird has done on being on top of but there is some kind of like evil swarm purpley thing. And I think you'll see it in the video. I'm not positive. At some point it kind of shows itself a little bit. The light can diffuse this, they're like, think of like a bee swarm, but they're like purple globs. And they're, zipping around like a bee swarm. I don't know what this game is. I don't know what the purpose of this game is. It intrigues me, though. It's interesting. They literally tell you nothing. Everything you learn, you kind of learn through observation in the game. There's very
Right.
little like prompts saying, you know, this is how you attack or this is how you do this. A lot of it literally is the game suggesting it to you, which I like, but it does get frustrating. And there is a point in the game not far from where we're seeing now, which makes me kind of want to just watch this, that I got stuck on. Literally, I'm like, what the hell do I do next?
Right.
And so that's my only gripe is it oddly just sometimes feels like, you know, you just don't have enough information to know what to do next. The other interesting thing is the light, when you shine it on vegetation, it actually makes the vegetation grow. So it's like coming back to life and helping it bring back its color. And it's kind of a happy game. And you're coming across these other building like creatures, you know, stones that grow legs or have little faces on them. And so it is a quirky Double Fine game, but it looks gorgeous, by the way. It is very, very satisfying from a visual perspective. The movement, at first, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get on with this, because it kind of reminded me at first of there was a game, it was Octodad, where you were trying to control how you walked, but he just walked very wonky, and so you could overcorrect in direction with the walking. It just never felt like you were in complete control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
The actual in-game walking is tighter than that opening scenario. And so I was happy about that. In fact, here you're going to see where the light will be used to focus in on an obstruction and reveal the pathway beyond it. But yeah, I don't know what the purpose of this game is. So that's the other knock. It's like, what is my end goal? I don't know. But it's an experience with the quirky like dragon bird like thing on top of your lighthouse.
Of course.
So there you go. Keeper. So far so good. You know, and I'm happy that this is part of Game Pass. This is, you know, it's not a AAA game. I get it, you know, so it doesn't justify the expense of Game Pass on its own. But the inclusion of this into the mix, I love, because I did really enjoy Midnight. Man, getting old sucks. South of Midnight. Thank you. So I did enjoy that. And that was another game on this level. You know, it's not AAA. It's a great, just like a AA type game. And so I want to see more of this into the mix of Game Pass. Okay. I have talked long enough. I think right now we are facing an important moment in time.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
Too bad. Tough. All right, there we go. All right, with a reduced cast this weekend, we're going to flip a coin, and Kim's going to go first. So play along in the Boomer and Lord, if you're still out there. Lord said hi and then just kind of disappeared. So if you're okay, just check in the chat there.
I would just like to point out Kim's cat has a very active tail.
Yeah, she does.
It's a very curious cat.
Yes,
it's a feisty cat, you might say.
Yes.
So a little bit different theme this week. A little bit different theme. The very first game is Fire Pro Wrestling World, released in 2018. And we're going to go with the PlayStation 4 version. So PlayStation 4 Fire Pro Wrestling World, released in 2018.
Glad Kim's going first.
Yeah, I love the case. What? Yes, it's a real game. I promise.
Yeah, never heard of it. 70.
70. It's a safe guess.
Yeah.
If you don't know, somewhere in the 70s, it's a safe guess. All right, Greg.
I think 70 is a fairly safe guess. And I want to say I heard about this game or heard of this game.
Oh.
So I want to say it's kind of like luchador wrestling, but I believe this came from a Japanese studio.
Oh.
Not that matters, but I don't think wrestling's big in Japan, but maybe it is. Maybe I don't know anything.
I mean, you've heard of sumo wrestling? I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fair enough. Fair enough. In fact, there's a really funny video about Micah Parsons trying to get past a sumo wrestler, and the sumo wrestler just stone cold stops him in his tracks. Anyway, God, 70 was a really good guess, Kim. I'm going to say 75.
All right. So Greg is in with a 75. Corzan's in with a 68, and Boomer is in with also a 75. And all of you were safe in the right direction. The correct answer was 70.
Okay.
So there we go. Yeah, it was definitely a like a pro wrestling WWE style game. Although I don't think it actually featured any actual I don't think it was licensed. I don't think it featured any actual WWE personalities. But all right, there we go.
Okay. So
here's one that you probably have heard of, whether you played it or not. This is 2010's Tecmo Bowl throwback on the Xbox 360. And it's Greg's turn to go first. Tecmo Bowl throwback on the Xbox 360.
Tecmo Bowl throwback on the Xbox 360. So I'm of two minds on this. Tecmo Bowl is a beloved franchise in football, video game football lore. It's like kind of like the OG, if you will, of American football. But being that we have progressed into Madden and all of the more sophisticated football simulator games, I feel like a Tecmo Bowl throwback, even being polished, probably didn't do what people hoped it would. And that there was this kind of love affair with the idea of it, but then when it came out in practice, people kind of poo-pooed it. I'm going to say 68.
Greg is going to say 68. All right. Kim? Tecmo Bowl throwback from 2010 on the Xbox 360.
I'm going to say 75.
Kim is going to go safe again with 75. Greg, you went in the right direction. Correct answer is 67. So not bad. Our PC entry for this week is, and I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, so bear with me.
Okay, I do it every day.
It is Captain Tsubasa, spelled Tsubeasa, Captain Tsubasa, maybe, whatever. Rise of New Champions 2020 on the PC. This was an anime style soccer or football game from 2020 on the PC. And it's Kim's turn again.
Another game I've never heard of.
This is obscure games this week.
Apparently, yeah. I'm going to go 70 on this one.
Kim is going to go 70, staying safe. Corzan is going to go 65, and Boomer's in with an 80. Final word to Greg.
Yeah, I feel like the downward direction is the right direction for this because I never heard of this game. I don't think Kim had ever heard of this game. Certainly, It was not talked about in any meaningful way in the media. So it leaves me to believe it was not a very memorable game, which therefore leads me to believe it was not a memorable score. I am going to go 65.
Greg is going to come in with a 65. The safe bet was the right bet for this one. The answer was 75. So there we go. This was an arcade football game bringing a refreshing look to the football genre with the exhilarating action and over-the-top shots that made the license famous. Defy the laws of...
There was a license?
Yeah, there's a license and it was famous. I feel like this is fake news.
This is a great sentence. Defy the laws of football, become legend. I think they forgot to put a period there. Anyway, yeah, it was from Bandai Namco, so that kind of tells you what you're expecting there.
Yeah.
All right. Final entry for the week is Golf Story from 2017, and this is our Nintendo Switch entry for the weekend. And so, Greg, you get the first guess. In Golf Story.
Which system? Sorry, Golf Story
on the Nintendo Switch. Golf Story on the Nintendo Switch.
I would like to submit a anonymous score, so Kim can't copy me. Because I need to win, so I need to have some ability to potentially. Oh, damn it!
This is why we alternate, Greg. This is why we alternate.
I know. It's fair. It's fine. Damn it! I'm gonna say 88.
Greg is gonna say 88.
I gotta swing for the fences.
See.
I gotta get to take it to an extreme potentially to pull out the win.
Corzan's in with a 72. Nothing yet from Boomer. Kim, what do you think?
I have actually heard of this one. I've not played it or anything, but I have heard of this one, so at least it's something. I'm gonna go 75.
Once again, with the safe guess, 75.
Stick with what works.
There we go. And Boomer was also in with a 75. Wow, what a week it's been. The correct answer, 78. And for the first time in Overseas Connection Metacritic Madness history, we have a 3-way tie.
Wow.
At 25 points apiece, Greg, Kim, and Boomer are all tied. So I guess we're gonna have to throw it to the bonus question. I think you've probably all figured out what the theme is. And so I think we're going to make the bonus question based purely on my subjective opinion. Which of you can say the funniest mystery theme for this week? I'm going to wait a second to think about it. Give everybody a minute to think about it. All right, you've had enough minutes to think about it. Greg, you're up first. Funniest. And I have to think it's funny. So this is the real challenge. Is I have to think it's funny. So you got to get in my head and figure out what I'm going to think is funny.
That is the mystery right there.
Right.
So yeah. So this clearly was a grasp at a collective of unique off-path sports games that you unintentionally gave away the theme to earlier in the quiz. And had to backtrack from that quickly, but yes, that is the theme. I don't know how funny that was. There's no punchline. The punchline is I can't make a joke. That's the punchline.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for a joke, and it feels like I'm talking to my therapist. Like, what's going on here?
I'll send you a bill.
All right, Kim.
Oh my! I don't know that I can make it funny either, other than Captain Sabusa or whatever the hell his name is. That was pretty hilarious. And it also goes to show I'm not the only one that can fuck up a sports game or a game name, as far as I go. Well, obviously this was all about sports ball, but yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Boomer has decided to opt out, it seems, of the punchline competition, and so. And it's so close. It's so close, but I'm gonna have to give this one to Greg because while not technically a joke, the whole imitating a therapist bit is there's some entertainment value there. The easy one would have been just I found these all in Obscure Sports Quarterly from Dodgeball, but I'm I'm the one with the encyclopedic knowledge of movie quotes in my head. And Corzan says, yes, sports made badly. Not a lot of rave reviews for these games, so maybe they were indeed sports made badly, high flying sports games. There we go. So congratulations, narrow victory this week, Greg.
I will take my victory lap.
I
would run around the room with my arms up in the air, but I would yank my headphones out, so I won't do that.
That would hurt. That would hurt. Yeah. If you are going to run around the room, just put one of those helmets on, protect your bean.
Fun fact: out of those helmets on my wall, one for sure I cannot put on. That's the Star Wars Sith helmet. I tried. That was made for a very small person.
Yeah.
Also, can't put the Master Chief helmet on, which you can't see, but it's off to my right here, because that was part of the Halo 3 Collector's Edition, and it actually is masking. It sits on top of a case holder for the games. They slid inside that, so that actually always kind of pissed me off because I thought it was actually going to be a helmet, and it wasn't.
Should be able to wear this.
Totally.
There you go. I'll try to be better next week and come up with a better theme, but we'll see how we do. Thank you for humoring me with that absolutely ridiculous Metacritic Madness quiz.
Thank you for pulling that together literally minutes before the show started. So, we have no room to complain, Mr. Matthew. Your mastery of the quiz continues. All right. Speaking of mastery of nothing.
Here is the fucking news.
All right. So just a couple news stories here. One that is not unexpected and one that was very much unexpected. So on the not unexpected side of things, or maybe this is unexpected. Maybe this is truly unexpected, but Battlefield 6 has become the biggest launch in the series history, selling 7 million titles in 3 days, or units in 3 days. According to publisher, Battlefield 6 sold more than 7 million copies in its first 3 days, setting record high sales for the series. The game saw more than 172 million matches played online over a 3-day weekend, accumulating over 15 million hours watched on streaming video services. According to further data that was never published and not actual factual data, 0 people completed the campaign. First and foremost, we want to thank our players. Battlefield game manager Brian Bede said in a statement, Battlefield 6 was built with our fans in mind. Last little bit I kind of ad-libbed because I knew it was from the story. So Battlefield 6 has been a success. Now, the question is the continued success, because I will say there have been some people now kind of looking at the numbers and it feels like it's falling off pretty drastically. And part of this may be frustration from the Bloom effect. Part of it may be because Call of Duty released out more crazy themed skins. The latest one was not Beavis and Butthead. God, I just saw it and I was like, this can't be real.
Oh, you mean Chucky?
Yes, for the Halloween stuff. So Chucky and the bride of Chucky, I believe, are both. Was it Tatiana? Something like that. My neighbor's name is not Tatiana. Maybe it's not Tatiana. Anyway, so we'll see how Battlefield does moving forward for its extended life. But at least, hey, it's sold well, and EA's got to be happy. And I'm sure the people that bought EA and the new private ownership are thrilled with this first big release. So now on the unexpected and not so great news, not great news at all for the record, but Dead or Alive creator and Team Ninja founder and Ninja Gaiden director Tomonobu Itagaki has passed away at age 58. Kind of crazy. So Itagaki, who joined Tecmo in the early 1990s, went on to produce and direct the first 4 Dead or Alive games, as well as Dead or Alive Ultimate, and then the spin-off Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. And I'm going to take a pause here. So if you don't know who Itagaki is, he is, I will say, very recognizable in that he always wore sunglasses in any interview he ever did. Anytime you ever saw him in public, he was the guy with the long black hair and the black sunglasses on. Also, I'm 99.9% positive that Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball was literally just made to be a boob simulator. In fact, I remember them talking in depth about the boob physics. Anyway, he was in charge of Tecmo's critically acclaimed reboot of Ninja Gaiden series, producing and directing Ninja Gaiden Black, and Ninja Gaiden 2. And a final message written by Itagaki was posted on his Facebook page following his passing, and it was entitled Last Words. So this was machine translated from Japanese, but it said, "The light of my life is finally fading. The fact that this message has been posted means that the time has finally come. I'm no longer in this world. I'm asking a loved one to make this final post. My life has been a series of battles. I kept winning. I've caused a lot of trouble too. I'm proud to say that I followed my beliefs and fought to the end. I have no regrets. However, I'm filled with regret that I wasn't able to deliver a new work to all my fans. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. So it goes." So that was his final message to the world. And we don't know his exact cause of death. We do know through reporting that he was suffering from some type of illness. I have to, in my mind, I'm thinking he probably was battling through some kind of cancer. I know he was a pretty heavy smoker, so those just things just kind of, it feels like the evidence is there, but who knows? It could have been a myriad of things. But sad because, 58, that is young these days. So,
right.
And he was such a figure in the industry, especially for Japan. So it'll be sad to not see him anymore. Anyway, do either of you have any fond memories of Itagaki games? Whether it be fond or frustrating. It could be frustrating too.
No, but I do remember the volleyball game, and I remember when it came out, and that was one of the first things I thought, well, that's just a game so you can jump around and look at boobs. So, I couldn't really see any other playable value other than that. So, but good for him.
I almost bought that game, and
surely not.
No, believe it or not, I almost bought that game, and I thought to myself, because I really was buying it for the boob physics, honestly. It was like, oh, these chicks in bikinis, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? Also, volleyball, not a fan of playing, video game volleyball. So what redeeming value does this game have for me? I'm looking at animated boobs. I feel like there's better things I can do with my money. So I ended up not buying the Extreme Beach Volleyball game. But
glad you stayed strong there.
Yeah, it was hard.
I'll bet.
I shouldn't have said that again. Okay.
I'm trying to remember. There was a Ninja Gaiden game on the original NES, and I'm trying to. I don't know if this was one of his games or not. If it was too long ago, but that game was incredibly frustrating. There was a Tecmo game. I don't know if that helps. It doesn't look like he was in on that one. I bought it for the NES, or I should say my parents bought it for my NES because there was one in the local arcade, and I was like, man, this game is amazing. And then I played it for like 20 minutes and got really mad and never played it again.
I never get along with the Ninja Gaiden games either. They always kicked my ass, and it was never fun. So.
Yeah, they.
Well, that one was just
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say that one, the NES one was a side scroller. But it was just kind of like a lot of those side scrollers of the era. It was just like the screen just kept filling up with more stuff that would kill you until you got killed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he took the side scrolling version of Ninja Gaiden and made it 3D. So he was the one that transformed it. But all of the Ninja Gaiden games, whether they be the side scrolling or the third person versions, they always leaned into the difficulty side of it. and they were just a challenge to say the least.
yeah.
All right, Kim, we got some new releases.
We've got a few this week. I was kinda surprised,
Just a few.
to be honest. Alrighty, your new releases for this week are Fantasy Maiden Wars for the PC, October 20th. Escape Simulator 2 for the PC on the 21st. Here's one for Phil, Jurassic World Evolution 3 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, first as well. Ninja Gaiden 4 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 21st as well. One I'm kind of looking forward to, and that's Painkiller for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 21st. Looks really good. Like Doom, but you're, I don't know, fighting demons and a bunch of other things. Anyway, it looks good to me.
Like Doom.
Like Doom, yes. I'm sure there's more to it, but that's just what I've seen. And I think I don't know if it's a remake, because I think Painkiller game's been out for years, so I don't know,
Isn't this the one that's tied to music as well?
I think maybe?
I want to say that they have like some kind of like music tie-in, but anyway, continue on, please.
Anyway, it'll be out the 21st. I don't imagine I'll pick it up because I have a lot of things going on, but maybe if it goes on sale, I'll pick it up then. We'll see. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This is another one I'm sure there's a lot of people. And I did find out the 2 clans or factions or whatever it was they had behind a paywall. I think they've went back on that, so that's no longer an issue. But it'll be out for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the coming out on the 21st. Becastled for the PC on the 22nd. Mother, I don't know, for the PC on the 22nd. Relic Guardian for the PC on the 22nd as well. Trenches VR for the PS VR 2, Quest, and PC VR on the 22nd. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit. No, this is not a game about me, honestly. But it'll be out on the PC and consoles on the 22nd. Actually, I have no idea what it's about, but okay. Double Dragon Revive for the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One and PC on the 23rd. Farthest Frontier for the PC on the 23rd as well. Godbreakers for the PS5 and PC on the 23rd. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted for everything will be out on the 23rd. And I do mean everything, the Switch 2, the PC, the whole...
kit and caboodle.
Okay. Holy moly, this is one I didn't pay attention necessarily when I put the list down, but I didn't see this one happening. But Power Wash Simulator 2 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. What more can they do for a power washing simulator?
I think they added soap.
Right? Did they give
soap.
you some like attachments or something? I don't know. Find out on the 23rd because that's when it'll be out. The Crazy Hyper Dungeon Chronicles for the PC on the 23rd. This is another one I'm looking forward to. The Lonesome Guild for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 23rd. It looks cute. Maybe that's why. There's a little rabbit, and I don't know, you go out and do some adventuring or something. So that's why, yeah. For me, that's all it takes. Tormented Souls 2 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on the 23rd. Once Upon a Katamari for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC on the 24th. And I assume that's another one of those games, like the other Katamari games, where you're rolling around and like making things into a gigantic ball of stuff, I assume. So, anyway, find out on the 24th. And those are your new releases.
I never understood the Katamari games, the attraction to that. But then again, I guess it's kind of like Vampire Survivors. You're just cruising around, doing stuff, a little bit of auto. Right. I mean, Katamari was to create a giant ball. Right. I think that was the end goal, was to roll up everything in the world.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess as good as mine. I never played them.
All right. Play dates. Mr. Matthew, what's going on this week that people can look forward to playing games with us?
People can look forward to playing games with us whenever we're online playing games. However,
fact,
we do have some regularly scheduled events.
Fact.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're playing shooty games starting 3:30 on the East Coast, 12:30 on the West Coast, and 8:30 p.m. in the UK. Or really whenever Greg gets his lunch break.
Also, fact. I'm just gonna say fact. Fact. Double Fatal Fridays. Fridays at 8 p.m. in the UK, and again at 8 p.m. Central Time. Some type of
shooty. Sometimes it's a lonely double Fatal Friday, like this last Friday when I was like, hey, anybody doing Fatal Friday? And then it was just me all by me onesie, as Jack Sparrow would say. But that's okay, because I always got my No Man's Sky to go tending farms and traveling the stars. I'm surprised No Man's Sky doesn't come with a seizure warning. A lot of games do now, but No Man's Sky has a lot of just sequences of flashing lights and random colors. Like if you're one of those photosensitive, if you have that photosensitivity, I imagine that would be a problem. But yeah, if you see us online in the future, you could just drop right into the game chat and say, "Hey, cats, what are you playing?" And then if there's room in the party,
just like
we'll
that,
let you on in.
Hey, cats, what's going on?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's groovy.
I'm not really sure why I went with the Tiger King right there, but that's where we were. Yeah.
All right.
Come and play games with us.
Yeah. Come play games. We are friendly people most of the time. Look, we do have an
Unless
email.
we're losing.
Yeah, if we're losing, some of us less friendly than others. Just saying. We have a podcast email. Feel free to drop a note if you ever so choose. ocpodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at OC_podcast on the Twitters. We also have a Facebook page that Kim monitors like a warden. Like that? It's fb.ocpod.com. Give us a like, give us a subscribe if you're listening to this either on the audios or you're on a Twitch or YouTube stream. Help promote us. That's all we ask. We don't charge anything for this. We're not some kind of Patreon shills. We do this for the love of the game and the community. Extra Life. And this is the big one. We have Extra Life coming up. Support us. Go check out the VG Hub team on extralife.org and pick one of us, pick all of us, do whatever you want. But if you can spare even just $5, help support the cause. It's going to a very, very worthy cause of helping kids that are in need. And so we appreciate all of your support. And if you can't afford it, and that's okay, come hang out with us when we're streaming live on the day. You just be in the chat or come play games with us. Even better.
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of needing help, Kim.
So much help. It's disgusting. All right. I'm going to shout out our shatters. There's been 3 in there today. Let me look at my list to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Lord, Corazon, and Boomer showed up today and kept the chat going. Yes. As a matter of fact, it was. I remembered this time. So go figure. But I do keep a list because sometimes there's more than 3 of you and it's a lot to keep track of. So thanks you guys for coming into the chat and playing along with our Metacritic game and just generally chatting with us because you're the whole reason we do this thing. Shout out to you guys as always. My adult time is on Sunday during the show because I don't get a whole lot of speaking to adults during the week. Mainly I'm just talking to myself and well, that gets old after a while. Other than that, hopefully everybody has a good week this week. Hopefully that whoever I off in whatever form will quit, throwing shit at me like hives and poison ivy and migraines and God knows whatever else it might be, and I don't want to think about that. Anyway, other than that, I'm gonna pass you over to Chris. So.
All right, thanks. I'm gonna shout out the 2 of you. Always a pleasure to jump in on the show. I'm gonna continue to shout out the lunch divers. Even though I can't make it for lunch diving most days, it's fun to watch the crew there. I think they're up to diving on level 8. So, get in there and crush some bots, spill oil. And I'm going to shout out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they're my last hope for football joy this weekend. So please don't let me down. Over to you, Greg.
All right. Well, a shout out to the 2 of you. Thanks for making the show. Shout out to Mark. We hope you feel better. Shout out to the community. We love you guys. This is all about community. It's all about fun. And shout out to my PC. I made sure it was turned on yesterday, so we had no issues today. I think that's everything. So go forward. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll be back next week. Come back. Have fun. Until then, have a great Sunday.
Thank you for
Toodles.
listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.